Hi. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so is everyone can hear me? So if you can hear me, please leave number 7, okay, on the chat room so that I know that you guys can hear me. Okay, yeah, so is everyone can hear me? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Dr. Mark, good afternoon.
Great to see you again.
Yeah, great to see you again. Okay, all right, yeah, so shall we begin the session?
I'm ever ready.
Okay,
Whenever you
sure,
are.
sure. All right, okay. All right, so good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so it is finally here today. Okay, so I know that a lot of you know, been waiting for this session for such a long time. You know, you might have a lot of questions that you want to ask from our scientist, Dr. Mark. Okay, so today's session is about how CellAge Plus improve women's gynecological issue. Okay, and we have a Q&A session. And today we are really proud and also great to have our guest of honor. Okay, Dr. Mark Smith, okay, is our co-formulator and also our researcher from CellAge Plus, okay, to share about this topic and also to answer all your questions today. All right, so before that, please allow me to have some introduction about our company. Okay, so Larvae International, we are a company that doing anti-aging solution. And also a lot of you may ask me the inspiration behind for this product. Okay, so this product is formulated by Dr. Ann Steele and also co-formulated by Dr. Mark Smith. Okay, so the inspiration behind from Dr. Ann Steele, she's the first scientist in the world that discovered using stem cell to do heart transplant. And also she's the scientist that she used to be the chief stem cell research scientist from Johns Hopkins University and Johns Hopkins Hospital. All right, so about our company was incorporated in 2018, and also our company is based in US. Okay, we equip with all our research development team, manufacturing facility, okay, marketing channel, and also education institution. Okay, means that we educate a lot in stem cell research and also naturopathic medicine. Okay, so our vision and our mission to become one of the leading anti-aging solution provider in global. Right. So yeah, so what is the the key product and also what is the research for our company? We introduce product world first stem cell food, okay, ABA, okay, which is with ABA, and also this product is certified by Jakim Halal and also SGS International. Okay, close up to 400 tests, okay, to prove that this product without any steroid, any mercury, without any harmful ingredient, and this product was formulated by Dr. Ann Steele and also Dr. Mark. Okay, so today we have the researcher is here to share with you the amazing product of this CellAge Plus. All right, so a little bit background about Dr. Mark. Okay, he's a fourth co-formulator and researcher for CellAge Plus and also is appointed as Health Development Advisor, okay, by United Nations Geneva Convention. Okay, he's also the founder, dean, chairman of the board of University of Natural Medicine in USA and worldwide. So after practicing integrative medicine for over 35 years, he's now an international lecturer, researcher, and formulator of natural products for stem cell, functional and integrative medicine in USA and Asia. Beside, okay, he also members of American Naturopathic Medical Association and International Association of Naturopathic Physicians. All right, he also he was the co-founder of the first Malaysia Ministry of Education approved naturopathic college in Malaysia. Right, so yeah, so it's a very experienced, and also I couldn't list out all here. All right, okay, so without further ado, so shall we give number 8, okay, on the chat room to welcome Dr. Mark, okay, to conduct the session and also the speech and also the Q&A session today. All right, so yeah, Dr. Mark, the stage will be yours and it's your session. Okay.
Thank you so much. You're always so wonderful and so complimentary.
Happy 4th of July between.
Oh yeah, it is, isn't it? There's a lot going on in America I don't approve of these days, but independence to everybody around the world is what's
Yeah.
important. So,
Okay.
and health independence is very important. It's just such a good point. We shouldn't be dependent on someone else for our health. So, today, may have to excuse me. My computer exploded a couple of days ago. The battery just,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
so I got a new computer, and I may have some technical, uh, um, what should I say, snafus here, but I'm going to do what I can. So let me go ahead and share the screen. And what I'd like
Yeah.
to do is,
Are you able to share the screen?
yeah, I'll do it in just a second. What I'd like to say is I'd like to welcome everybody and thank you for joining us. And what I want to do today is I'm going to briefly give a little introduction to the product because I think most of you, if not all of you, are familiar with it. And then we're going to get right into your questions regarding women's gynecological, let's call them imbalances, so all illnesses affecting women. So we're going to take about a lot of time for Q&A. So I'm just going to run through this PowerPoint very fast and just touch on a little bit here and there and kind of correlate it to women's health. And just for those who don't know what it is, and give a little bit of history on the research and why this is proven. There's so many products on the market today. They're hyped and they do this and they do that. But I haven't seen any human trials, clinical research, university research, extensive, Johns Hopkins, Emory University School of Medicine, PMK Institute, from institutes around the world, LabCorp America, to prove that this works and is effective, but also, which is so important, that it's 100% safe. And so I'm looking forward to your questions. And if we could just hold it, I'll take maybe about 15 minutes here. Let me see if I can pull up this.
Hi, Dr. Mark.
Yep, yep.
Sorry, I think the voice a bit blur.
Oh, I don't know if I can control that unless I turn it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Uh, is that better?
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
a
yeah,
little?
it's better. It's better. Yeah, just now the voice is a bit blur. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not clear. Yeah, it's not clear.
Dr. Lawrence and I were speaking earlier, and he said, "Oh, you got to turn it up." So this this is easier. So I'll try to back up a little bit. Is that better?
Yeah, yeah,
Is
yeah.
that good?
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, it's better.
All
Right.
right. Let me see how I can pull up the screen. Uh, like I said, this is a new computer, and let's see, share screen.
Yeah,
Uh,
are you able to share the screen?
yeah, it's not coming up, is
Yeah.
it? Entire screen. Okay. Now I'm going to go down here. Please have a little patience with me while I figure this out. And
No
I'm going
worries,
to
take your time.
PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Is that up? Oh,
No.
how about now?
No, we couldn't see any of your screen.
Still cannot. Huh.
Mm.
Let me go back. Escape.
Or maybe I share from my side because I have,
Okay, give me 1 second here and figure
yeah,
out.
you
We had,
can, if you're unable to share the screen, I can share from my side.
we had it earlier. Let me see what happened. Um, allow. How about now?
No, I don't think so.
This happened to us
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
before.
yeah. Okay, yeah, we see the screen. Yeah, we see.
Okay.
Okay,
So you
sure.
see world's first stem cell food, CellAge Plus? You got that, the slide?
Yep, yep.
Great. Okay, I'm going to get right into it. And the first thing we need to understand about CellAge Plus is it's not only a stem cell food, even though that's what its core essence is. It's also an immune modulator. There's so many problems these days with autoimmunity and parasites and so many other microbes and cells attacking our body. We have to have a strong immune system that doesn't overreact, like rheumatoid arthritis and conditions of that nature, even Alzheimer's. But so we want to balanced immune system, and also the other benefit is anti-inflammatory. I've said so many times, and it's just a given now that almost every degenerative condition has some inflammatory cause. That's called the etiology. Now, the other thing is this: you need to understand there's no human and no animal parts in this product at all. It's 100% phyto or plant based, which is wonderful. And the other thing too, it's not a drug, definitely not a drug. We're not making any claims for any disease, but we show how this enhances one's own, we call it innate wisdom for the body to heal itself, because it's happening continuously. Even we're sleeping, we're doing detox and we're getting rest and all these things which are energizing our system. So that's what's important to understand. Now, COVID changed everything, and it's going to change the world for many years to come. And I'll just touch on this briefly because this is very important with women. Women are now considered, in much of the research, to be the highest incidence of cardiovascular CHD, cardiovascular heart disease. And now with the COVID, what's happening with long-term COVID, the inflammation, but also a lot of research is showing that the microRNA jabs are causing blood clots, serious blood clots, and congestion in the blood. So we need to look how we can lower that inflammation, but also get the blood flowing and create new healthy cells. And that's very, very important because it's getting serious. Many uh, men and women and men both, are dying so young now of this blood coagulation, we call it, and these fibrous tissues that have built up in their system. So we'll hear more and more about that in the future. But I just want you to know that this product is ideal for being able to balance out that situation. So now with everything that's happened, health is probably the number one concern for everybody in the world. And of course, I always say health is wealth. If you don't have your health, what good is your wealth? But this is all about pursuing health and longevity. I don't even like to say anti-aging because we don't want to fight aging. It's going to happen. We have to look in the mirror every year. I know that's happening. But we want to extend our longevity, but have healthy, long life, not be an invalid or be sick and in the hospital at age 50 and 60, which is happening more and more around the world. So a lot of this has to do with stem cells. Now Zarina just mentioned Dr. Steele, incredible woman. Like she said, she was chief stem cell scientist at Johns Hopkins Medical University. She developed a heart stem cell for heart transplants. She came to me one day, and I've known her for 20 years. She says, "Hey, Dr. Mark, we have to create a food for stem cells. We can give them the highest, most expensive stem cells in the world, but if they're not don't have the nutrients to feed them, they're not going to be able to do their job." And I don't know who that ape is, but we'll move on. So aging has started. We all know it. Wrinkle, fatigue, poor vision, low vitality, poor memory, insomnia, poor appetite. This is happening younger and younger all the time now. It's getting kind of scary. Why do we age? Well, one reason is because stem cells are the core for everything. And what happens is we age, our adult stem cells and our working cells decrease. And so we need to regenerate those on a regular basis. I think you all have seen this, so I won't get into it too much. But you know what stem cells are. They produce all the other parts of our body and mind. Functions, you know that to replace, repair, regenerate, restore, recovery from degenerative disease. All of us need that. Man, woman, children, babies, even in the embryo. It's important in utero that they are having good nutrition as well through the mom. Restart. Life begins with one stem cell. Look at this below. One embryonic stem cell can create 6 trillion working cells. I always like to refer to it as the queen bee. They all feed the queen bee and get all of her stem cells proliferating so she can produce millions of working bees. And that's the same thing that's happening in our body. Now, here's something that's very interesting. We have so many dormant stem cells. And what that means is it's kind of like, I like to refer to it as, excuse me for talking so fast. I usually don't. I'm slow talking Kentucky boy most of the time, but I want to get through this and have time for your questions. It's that if they're not getting the food they need, they know to go into hibernation like a bear, during the winter time. And that's what happens. And that's what we are doing is not only are we waking up these stem cells with the food they need, but regenerating the working cells, regenerating the stem cells are already there. That is regeneration, revitalization. That's what it's all about. Staying younger, more active, maintaining inner beauty, healthy, preventing chronic disease. Now, I hope you all heard about ABA and Dr. Steele describing it because she's so astute. But basically, what it is, it's a signaler. Every cell in your body needs to be able to communicate with the other cell, communicate the right messages. And what we found was through this extensive research, it took us 2 years to develop this product, is that the ABA is one of the core elements of cellular proliferation and stem cell production. They have to be able to communicate with themselves. Now, this is done through a hormone. We use plant hormones, which is very important. There's nothing synthetic. And I want to say too that we shopped around the world to get the highest quality ingredients that are available. We spared no expense about that, I can assure you. So it's all about signaling for coordinating the immune response, for the function of organ circulation, replacing cells, repair cells, regenerate cells, all of that. So you can just see this is just a diagram, that shows that happening. Now, I want to show you some of the research that we've done, Dr. Steele and I and some other top scientists in the world, to show why we can prove that this works. Dr. Steele was doing, this was at Johns Hopkins, she took heart tissue and she grew the stem cells from that like they usually do. They use this synthetic drug broth, I wouldn't want to take. But before they do anything, they try to proliferate it. Now, when she used CellAge Plus to cultivate these, look at the millions more cells that were created compared to what they usually use. That's one reason why we patented it as a pure cell food, because it feeds all cells. But what was interesting about that was she says, not only were there so just multitudes more, she says they were more active. She says they were alive like the ones in the drug culture. They were like drugged. So we decided to do clinical research, and I'll go through this very quick, both in America and in Thailand at the Queen's Hospital in America, several hospitals and clinics there, to show that in only 4 hours, that's taking an individual's blood, and we have people both in Thailand and in America, and then have them come back 5 hours later after taking a double dose of the product because we wanted to see if we could get any effect. We were amazed. In just 5 hours, there was up to 4 times more stem cells. What does that mean? That's millions and millions more in just 4 hours. I thought, this isn't possible. How can you even digest it and get that many so quick? But what it's all about is the communication between the cells got so enhanced immediately, but also as soon as it was digested, dormant stem cells woke up, which is just phenomenal. It surprised me. I could get into the stories about that. But 100% safe. Now, that's one thing I want to cover here because it's very important. We did complete blood chemistries on every participant at every stage at 5 hours, at 5 days, 10 days, 30 days, 60 days. And two conditions here. One is we were able to balance the whole blood chemistry. Everybody improved basically across the board, all the metabolic biomarkers, the immune biomarkers. We didn't see any side effect whatsoever. But what was even more important is in our research, we showed that after 60 days, all of a sudden the stem cells started evening out. And I called Dr. Steele and I said, after 60 days, people are basically becoming tolerant to the formula. We're going to have to increase the dosage. He said, no. That's wonderful. This shows that they used what they needed for regeneration. Then they were converting our product, our CellAge Plus, into cell food for energy, for rebuilding all the cells, not just stem cells, so that it evened out is so important because the problem with stem cells today is they never know how much they're giving somebody. If it's going to be effective, if it's going to be damaging in the long run, you just don't know. Everybody pretty much gets the same dose, 25,000, 100,000, whatever it may be, depending on who you go see. But you don't know how that's going to affect all cells in the body. So what we've shown this will not go into creating mutating cells, which is so important. So important. Okay. Okay, this is another actually PowerPoint that I was going to use, but let me just go ahead and get back here and give you a little more research. We did research with 767 diabetics in Asia and showed that we improved the symptoms across the board for every individual, 98%. The other 2% maybe didn't take the product. But that's the key with diabetes. It's not the diabetes that kills them, it's the symptoms that develop as a result. Now, keep in mind, diabetes is also anti-inflammatory, is a result of inflammation as well. Of course, diet and exercise and all those conditions. Then we did a study at the Charity Hospital in Vietnam to show we used 40, I think it was 40 or was it 100? It might have been 100 doctors and nurses to do cardiovascular research. This was quite a long time ago. So I have to go back and see exactly how many people reacted to show that we could increase the HDL, the good cholesterol, while lowering the bad cholesterol. And there's really not a drug in the world that can do that. The Pfizer representative I met here once admitted that. And then I came on stage and said, oh, yeah, we can. So we proved that it's good for all what's called metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome includes cancer, it includes Alzheimer's, it includes diabetes, it includes cardiovascular disease. All of those are grouped into what we call metabolic syndrome, which is 85 to 90% of the illnesses today. There's only about 8 to 10% that's actually, should I say, parasitic or from microorganisms. The rest is metabolic. We can change that. Unfortunately, there's no drug that I've known that can reverse those. It can suppress them and it can slow them down, but none that reverses. But we have seen across the board how the ingredients in this product can help help the body reverse those illnesses. So, what I'd like to do, because for some reason the full PowerPoint didn't come up, and there's a lot more information on it, but I think you all would be more interested in going into Q&A. Now, I could go through each one of the ingredients and the benefit of each, but I think you know that already. So I'm not sure if I need to elaborate on that or not. What do you think, Serena? Should we just get into Q&A?
Sorry, because okay, but elaborate about the ingredients. Do you mean?
Do we need to? Is everybody already familiar with them, or should we go into each one and the benefits and how that can relate to female health?
Sure, please. Yes, please.
Okay. Well, apparently I have the wrong PowerPoint up. I don't know what happened here. Oh, I do know what happened. It's over here. Hold on one second. I'm just going to talk about it. The number one ingredient is wheatgrass, and it's triticum. And the reason why we use the best wheatgrass in the world, I can assure you that I've been working with this company for over 30 years, and it's all organic. But it has the highest level of ABA of any substance in the world. Now, I mentioned how ABA is such an integral part of this. Now, another one is, I'm going to go through them pretty quickly. Another one is chlorella growth factor. Now, this is not really chlorella. This is a nucleic acid extract from chlorella, and they call it chlorella growth factor because they showed not only can it increase cellular growth, but it also increases the bowel flora, the microbiome, by billions of friendly flora and bacteria. So it's so much more than that too. They've shown anti-cancer. We won't get into the diseases too much. And then there's a product we use called ASP or APB. It goes by a couple of names. And what it is, it's a a carbohydrate and an amino acid rice extract. Now there's no heat, anything of that nature, but it's made bioavailable. It's like it's pre-digested. What's so important about that, and we proved it, is that the body has to have certain amino acids and these enzymes. They're so important. And you have to have the carbohydrates, of course, in order to get the energy into the cell with the mitochondria. But the amino acids are so important for antioxidants, but particularly for hormonal production. So most of the hormones are made from amino acids, some from lipids, but most of them from amino acids. And so you've got to have the proper ratio and the right kind of bioavailable amino acids to produce these hormones. And they run everything. We know that. That's what it's all about. I mean, it's so ridiculous that when a woman maybe has PMS or going through menopause, oh, she's just hormonal. Men are more hormonal than men. I mean, than women, they get angry. I mean, is that hormonal or what? At the same time, whatever. We won't compare too much, though, but it's just kind of funny how it's that interpretation. The other key element here is enzymes. You need to understand you've got hundreds of enzymes in your body, not just digestive. You've got cellular enzymes. You've got metabolic enzymes. Those are what create the reactions. They're the spark in our whole body. Our product has just the right ingredients and the elements in order to create all these enzymes in the body, the bioavailable elements and amino acids for the hormones, for the cell. Cell needs two things basically, amino acids and carbohydrates to function. The amino acids being the regeneration and the carbohydrates being the fuel, bioavailable fuel. So then we've got other things like curcumin and quercetin, which most of you know about. They're anti-inflammatory, but they have so many other benefits. Fucoidan. Fucoidan is kind of new on the market in many respects, but it's been around for eons. It's basically a type of algae.
Hi, sorry, Dr. Mark.
Yep.
Is it something wrong with your slide? Because we couldn't see anything,
Nope, that's another PowerPoint. I realized I pulled up the wrong one. I can't access that one.
Yeah. Because you have another PowerPoint that to talk about the women health, right?
I do, but
Yeah. So how does so because I saw from my chat here, we have this.
Maybe you could pull yours up? I don't know. I don't know where mine is.
Okay.
But yeah, this one doesn't have all that on it.
Okay, wait, no worries. Maybe I can show from my side here. Okay,
Let me try to escape here. Okay, I'm back.
do you see?
Yeah.
Okay, can you see the slide? Like this the title, how does CellAge Plus help with
我的 family doctor 去做一个 simple 的 report， 2个星期我从950点跌到去720 after 服用了3。
Don't know what happened there. My profuse apologies. Like I said, this is a new computer. I use Mac, and this is a Lenovo, and I haven't figured it out yet. Are you there? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, I'm here. Serena, were you going to pull up that slide again?
wait, sorry.
Well, my apologies. I had a
No worries,
60 slide PowerPoint, and I don't know where it went. It just went into the ozone.
Okay.
But I think just finishing with that one slide would be enough, and then we'll go into Q&A.
Yeah,
And
sure.
I'm happy to do another one sometime when I'm more Labona savvy. So you're sharing your screen, right?
Yeah. Wait,
Okay.
give me a moment.
Yeah, I tried getting over it and it kicked me out. While you're doing that, I'll just go ahead and answer a few questions if you'd like.
Okay,
There you
can you see?
go. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Going through the list of ingredients, just to finish that up real quick, the fucoidan, like I mentioned, is just phenomenal. It's not only are they shown as anti-carcinogen, but it has incredible stem cell capabilities. And then there's xylitol, which is a type of sugar that even diabetics can consume. And then we have pea protein, which is just another food which provides additional amino acids. And and so that's pretty much the super berries. How can I forget the super berries? This is 8 different berries that combine together in a specific formula to provide antioxidants and enzymes. So it's a key ingredient as well. And I did mention the ASP. The one thing I want to say about that as well is just how it's shown to be able to reverse Alzheimer's. We did a neurological study at PMK Institute at Mahidol University, Medical University, Thailand, and, and at Emory University School of Medicine. And we showed that not only could it protect the cells from some of the most um, toxic substances, neurotoxins, known to kill cells and cause Alzheimer's, but it also created new dendrites and axons, which are the communicators and the connection between cells. So with that, Emory University School of Medicine, what is this? How can this product be so effective? So then they took what's called a MTT colorimeter. It's the only instrument I know of in the world that actually measures cellular energy. And so when they did a comparison, they showed that with the CellAge Plus, we could increase cellular energy by 54%. Now, this was done at Emory University School of Medicine. So, what I'm trying to emphasize here is that this product has so much clinical, scientific research behind it. And then it's totally endorsed by Dr. Ann Steele, who's probably, in my opinion, the number one stem cell researcher in the world. So what I'd like to do at this point, and there's also the well, let's just say the pea protein, which is a key part of that. So Um, what I'd like to do is just go through this real quickly about how CellAge Plus help women's overall health, longevity, and with gynecological disorders and hormonal imbalances. And then let's open it up to questions because, I've been talking very fast so that we have plenty of time for questions. But just go through this briefly. And I had a much more extensive PowerPoint. This is great. Inflammation. Okay, that can lead to cardiovascular disease. What's important to know when they're realizing, finally publicizing after we've known this for 30 years, cholesterol is not the issue. We need cholesterol. The key is the inflammation in the blood vessels that causes the main problem. That's why anytime you get your cholesterol checked, it could be 200-300, but you need to check HDL, LDL, but more important, CRP, C-reactive protein, homocysteine. Those are the two key inflammatory biomarkers to show if your cholesterol is problem, if you have problem in your blood vessels. Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is an inflammatory condition. Now they're seen as rogue proteins, cancers. It's all inflammation. And regeneration of cells, of good cells. Diabetes, again, they've determined it is inflammatory as well as nutritional and exercise problems. And hormonal deficiencies and imbalances, postmenopausal systems, adenomyosis. Now, I just want to cover this real quick because there's a study that just came out recently. I just read it. 20% of women in fertility age, or reproductive age, have this condition. You know, it can lead to some serious problems such as uterine inflammation, uterine bleeding, pelvic pain, infertility. 20% they're determining now have this adenomyosis. And it's a result of estrogen problems and xenoestrogens, the estrogens that women in particular get from from plastics and from hormone replacement therapy, HRTs, and from birth control pills. You know, all these are leading to this serious problem. So that's what I'm saying with CellAge Plus, we can balance all that. That's what's very important to know, is that we can create balanced hormones. Okay. Now, even cysts, fibroids, uterine cysts, breast cysts, all cancers, tumors, all of that, adrenal, thyroid, pineal, pituitary, hypothalamus, and thymus. It helps balance all of the hormone endocrine system in the whole body. And that's the key. You know, we're run on our hormone system. So compromised immune systems, as we mentioned earlier, metabolic syndrome, we talked about that, blood clots, such an important situation and serious condition now with all the blood clots that are developing and just exponential prolific increase in cardiovascular disease and strokes and many other cardiovascular diseases. The antioxidants, which I mentioned, fight free radicals and prevent cancer and other degenerative conditions and inflammation as well. You have to have the right antioxidants. We have the perfect combination of amino acids, bioavailable ones, to create the glutathione, the superoxide dismutase, the catalases, which fight these free radicals. Enzyme production, as I mentioned earlier, cellular to create the telomeres. We've probably all heard of telomeres, and you know how the more you have, the longer those telomeres are, the longer you live. I don't know if that's true or not, but there's many other factors that affect it: metabolic enzymes, digestive enzymes, and cellular energy for all processes of the body. The great thing about our CellAge Plus, it's a pure cell food. It's a pure stem cell food, but it's also a cell food. So this is all about longevity. I mean, that's what we're all looking for. But we want a good quality of life and not just quantity. We want to be happy, healthy, and vibrant at all ages, even when we get to be 120, right? And also, we promote this product and seen so many benefits with beauty from within. You know, I mean, it's great. Everybody's taking these stem cells and doing all this cosmetics and things of that nature. I think it helps some, and others it doesn't. But we're building cells from within. The whole key with beauty and longevity is you've got to regenerate. We have billions of cells that die every day. We've got to regenerate those, and we've got to have stem cells, other cells, to do all this. So that's my spew in a nutshell, and I would like to open it up for questions, because I know you all have quite a few, and I'd love to hear them and try to answer them.
Hey, okay, sure. All right, so if you guys have any question, can type on the chat room. All right, so before that, okay, we have some question here that we received before. So let us go one by one, and maybe later you can expand more about the ingredients. Okay, so yeah, so number one, can CellAge Plus help thicken lining of uterus for people who are hard to conceive due to thin lining?
I'm sorry, there was something cut in there and I didn't get to hear you.
Okay, I repeat again. Okay, can CellAge Plus, okay, help thicken lining of uterus for people who are hard to conceive due to the thin lining?
Due to what?
Thin lining. THINLING.
Oh, thin lining. Oh,
Yeah.
you're talking about the
Can you
endometrial
help?
lining.
Can you help for people who are very hard to conceive due to thin lining?
Absolutely, because you have to understand why that. You have to look back at the cause. Why is there thin lining? You know, it's because it's not getting the cellular energy it needs for regeneration and to create a healthier uterus and a healthier womb. And you know, it's been so amazing traveling around the world with you guys and having people come up to us, and young people, even young people. I remember a 20 and 19-year-old couple. I think it was there in KL. I can't remember exactly, but they came up to us and said, "We're so happy. We've been trying to conceive for 3-4 years now." No, I think they were about 25 actually. And it says we could not. It says as soon as we started taking CellAge Plus, I got pregnant. We had a healthy baby. So that's just one example, multitudes and multitudes. But what's so important there is cellular regeneration. You know, the body is producing this lining on a regular basis. Every 28 days, it can shed and create new. So you've got to have that capability. So important, you know. And also, you have to have the right hormonal balance. That's essential as well. And we've proven that we can balance the hormones, you know, from the thyroid, which is so essential, to the ovaries, you know, which is a key hormone producer, the pineal, the pituitary, the thymus for the immune system. We're feeding all of those, the adrenals, all of those are so key, particularly adrenals with diabetes. You know, diabetes is a serious problem, especially in Malaysia, for women as well as men. And it's just getting worse in younger people. So we're looking at how we can balance the metabolism. We've proven that, you know, that we can have that benefit. And so it's definitely going to benefit reproduction. Okay.
Okay. All right.
And
So we have, I think for this question, right, we have one friend asked about this. Okay, usually it need to consume how long to see the effects, and any scientific paper study to support the claims?
okay, you know, we've had some people just put it under their tongue raw, and they feel energy within minutes. I mean, and we've also shown that in this clinical research, which was so many people, every one of them increased their stem cells. So we know, excuse me, that they're getting benefits from it almost immediately within minutes. But everybody's different, you know. People who tend to be more, I would have to say, degenerative or have serious health conditions, they're probably going to notice the benefits quicker, actually, than somebody who's extremely healthy. It's kind of like one of my good friends. He's a retired medical doctor now in the U.S. He was in the study, and he said, "You know, I didn't feel that much. I felt a little more energy." And I said, "Well," but he says, "You know what?" He says, "I'm bench pressing 20 more pounds now than I was before." What is that? That's about 7 or 8 kilos more once he started taking the product. And he says, "I could just feel the synapses and the signaling that was going on between my cells to get more muscular energy, to get more power." So that was pretty incredible because when he took it, he was like 70. I'm 72. Wait a minute, he's 6 years older. Yeah, he was around 70. So it shows it works for all ages, you know, and for anybody, and that it can work fast. Now, the other aspect of the answer to that question, the second part, was we proved that there were no side effects. One, we haven't seen a single side effect in all these years that I'm familiar with, any serious side effect. But the most important part of that, of proving it, was the clinical research studies we did, where we did complete blood chemistry, 65 biomarkers on everybody who did the product at 0, 5, 5 hours. Then again, 10-day, 5-day, 10-day, 30-day, and 60-day. And we showed there were no side effects. That was the liver, the pancreas, the blood sugar, the immune system, you name it. It benefited everything, every one of the organs that we tested everything, the whole body. I mean, this is one of the most complete blood chemistry profiles anybody could ever do. I wish doctors did this extensive of a profile. But we also showed that we reduce inflammation, which is so critical and essential in health. And of course, we showed how we could regenerate stem cells without creating any bad stem cells, because it all balanced out and modulated at a certain point for each person. And one thing that's interesting about the human clinical trials is one lady who ended up being one of our distributors. She was in a car accident, and she was so debilitated that she wasn't able to work anymore, and she lost her job. And she got the highest response of regeneration of stem cells of anybody in the whole study. She then was about 45, I think. And what it showed was that your body is going to use as much of this, because it's a food, as it needs to create the stem cells. It's going to take the rest and use it for anti-inflammatory, antioxidants, for regeneration of the trillions of working cells. So you've got this innate wisdom in your body that knows what to do with good food. It also knows what to do with bad food. It tries to either detox it, or it tries to store it somewhere and encapsulate it. I can create cancer. So it's just, our body is just so miraculous in how it can recognize good live food and then know what to do with it. And part of that too is the liver function, which I haven't mentioned. These antioxidants, of course, are going to help the liver, but also the anti-inflammatories, and helping the body convert with all these enzymes, convert the cholesterol into the hormones and cells that we need. Even brain cells come from cholesterol. So we've got to have this cholesterol for essential purposes. But people eat the wrong kind, and it can block the arteries and blood vessels, and then it can create inflammation can come, and then we create the blockages. So that's what it's all about, the blockages. Now, what's very interesting about the question about the endometrial lining is we've shown that this product can help all epithelial cells and all of the internal cells in the body, for the blood vessels, for the skin, whatever that may be. We've shown that as well. So that's very important, what it can do for the epithelial and endothelial cells. Okay?
Okay, all right, sure. Okay, so we have second question. Can CellAge Plus help for ADHD children to concentrate while studying? ADHD student? ADHD children, yeah. So can CellAge Plus
Right.
help for ADHD children to concentrate while studying?
It really can. You have to look at ADHD and ADD and even autism. We've had wonderful results with autism. And a lot of that's the inflammation in the body. A lot of it's metabolic, in that they're not able to metabolize sugars properly. So what this can do, because it has a fiber in it too, and a probiotic, and what they're finding, and a prebiotic, that's the other thing, sun fiber, which I didn't mention, a wonderful prebiotic and probiotic. But the whole key here these days is in the microbiome they're finding, especially with metabolic disorders like ADHD. And what we've seen is that the child tends to learn quicker. They tend to balance their hormones. They tend to balance their energy levels. And some took longer than others, because autism and ADHD can be serious. But it's kind of sad, I think, that most of what they use for so many children is Ritalin, and you pharmacists know more than I do, to try to balance this ADHD, and it just creates more long-term deleterious effects. So one thing, getting back to this, is CellAge Plus is a food. I don't know anybody who can't take it. I mean, I wouldn't feed it to a child who hasn't been done on solid food yet, but as soon as they are, they could take a little bit, and it's going to help with brain development. I mean, that's what we showed in the Alzheimer's study. We call it the neurological study, is that we could regenerate brain cells. I mean, there used to be this theory, which is bogus, that you cannot regenerate brain cells. We do. We do on a regular basis. You know how many brain cells we kill? I mean, especially people who smoke and drink. I mean, I do drink a little. I'm talking wine, but we're going to kill cells. There's going to be neurological toxins in our environment that kill cells. The antibiotics, um, all the cell killers, they're going to affect the cells in the body. We have to regenerate those, which is so important. And so in a child too, brain development, especially in the younger years, is so important, and brain balance. You know, one thing I must say about autism in particular, and probably ADHD and ADD, is a lot of it's related to toxic metals, a lot of it. But there's also the glyphosate that they use in so many grains these days. Roundup is one. In corn, even in rice. I'm not sure how much here in Thailand. America's terrible. Rice, corn, soy. Soy is probably one of the worst. So you just got to go organic, especially with ADD and ADHD. So important to go organic because you got to get those hormone disruptors out of the body. You know, all the xenobiotics and and the animals. I mean, look at what they feed animals these days. They feed them antibiotics. They feed them steroids. They feed them growth enhancers. You know, they feed them steroids. How is that affecting a child's brain? I mean, we just have to look at that. I know organic's more expensive, and some people say, "Well, how do you know it's organic?" But it's just much better than taking in all these chemicals, particularly things like Roundup and the insecticides, the herbicides they use. They kill cells, they kill bugs. I mean, they kill plants. Why would you want to consume that? So it's just on my pedestal, not pedestal, but on my soapbox there that I wanted to mention that. Okay.
Okay, all right. So yeah, I think this is most of the client been asking about this question. Okay, so client concern stem cell, they encourage growth of cell that can cause cancer in case overgrowth of cell. How to explain the myth to client?
Well, I mentioned that earlier, and maybe everybody didn't hear, but we did the studies to show that it only goes to a certain point, and it will not go ahead and feed the cancer cells. Besides, cancers thrive particularly on sugar. You know, you've got to cut sugar out of your diet if you don't want to have cancer. There's so many books out there now, eat sugar and die, whatever it may be. And there's too much of that going on, along with, and then they pull out this crap, I mean, this total neurotoxin called aspartame, and they call it, many companies say, oh, this contains xylitol, but then it also has NutraSweet, aspartame in it. Most drinks on the market today have it. It is a neurotoxin. We've had children die in our clinics in America from consuming too much diet pop in one day. On a hot day, consume too much diet pop, go into convulsions, come unconscious, and die. And that's a fact. And you can go into the website and you can see where this aspartame or diet this, diet that, it's all a neurotoxin. It's going to kill cells. So the thing we show with the product is that because of that, these cells, like I said earlier, they know what's good and what isn't. And good food is going to feed healthy cells. Bad food, toxic food, dead food is going to feed mutant cells. That's what they feed on. That's what causes cancer and degeneration. And look at all the diabetes and now the Alzheimer's. They're showing a direct correlation with Alzheimer's and drinking too much diet soda. So, and of course, I always have to say this, one of the most toxic substances in the world is commercial cigarettes. There's over 100 cancer-causing endocrine disruptors in every cigarette somebody smokes. Imagine that. Just smoking 100 carcinogenic chemicals at once. It's just unfathomable. I mean, there are so many organic cigarette companies out there now. Tobacco is not a toxic substance. It's not the tobacco. I mean, it can be high nicotine, but they add a synthetic nicotine, so it makes it multitudes times worse and more deadly to the cell. I mean, finally we got them to put the pictures on the cigarette box, showing what it does, and yet continue to do this. So it's going to create degenerative disease. And so it's so important to look at this just being a food, not a drug. There's no toxins in it whatsoever, right? We've done so many analyses on it, and there are no toxins in this formula. Okay.
Okay, all right.
Going
So
back again,
thank
the other
you.
thing I want to mention is they asked, have we proven it? Yes, the clinical research we did, the human studies we did show, and also the studies in the lab with cultures, we show that it actually will go straight to feeding the beneficial cells, and that there was absolutely no cancer cells created
Mm,
in
mm.
in our study. You know, all fed healthy cells. Okay.
Okay, all right, sure. Okay, so another question. Okay, with so many supplements product claiming to be good, how does one how does one judge that it is evidence-based, of good quality, reliable, safe, and value to money?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And that goes back to one thing I mentioned earlier today is that we resource the foremost and as much organic. All of our ingredients are not certified organic, but they're organically grown. Now, these people may not have organic certification yet, and it may be because they have other crops adjacent to it, or they don't want to pay for the certification, but they're organically grown, and many of them are organic certified. So we research many companies to get the best products in the world, like from New Zealand, from oh my gosh, so many countries off the coast of Taiwan. Well, I could go on and on. And the mountainous regions of Peru, which is beautiful. If you ever get the Inca Indian, the Andes, um, and so many other places that were as pristine as we could find to get the highest quality. Now, to go back to the original question, if I recall, is that um, the the thing that proves that it has what's called efficacy. And I think all of you pharmacists know that efficacy is beneficial effects. You've got deleterious effects and you've got the efficacy, which means does it work? Well, we proved it. We've got the human and clinical scientific studies from Emory University School of Medicine, from Johns Hopkins School of Medicine, from Dr. Steele, who's one of the foremost scientists in the world backing it, to this research we did here in Thailand, the research we did inside the PMK Institute, Mahidol Medical University, which is the foremost, and then at Cho Ray Hospital in Vietnam, in Ho Chi Minh City, which is the number one government hospital in Vietnam, to show with the doctors and nurses. I mean, they were actually the participants to show how it could benefit. So when we say something about the benefits it has, we've got the scientific research to prove it. There are very few. In fact, I have not found, and I would love to see one if there is, a stem cell formula or a stem cell that they're saying is feed stem cells, that has the clinical human trials, scientific trials that we have behind ours to prove that it works. As I mentioned when we first started, so many products out there are hype. You can say what you want. You can have 100 testimonials. Oh yeah, this works for this works for that. But you can have that, and it's wonderful. It's real. It's real human beings and their experience. But also, on the other hand, you've got to have the scientific studies and research to back it up, to prove that. And we have that. So I just don't know any other companies, any other product that has that. Okay.
Okay, all right, sure. Okay, so another question. All right, effect and efficacy of CellAge Plus in spinal injury.
That's a really good one. Um, Spinal injury results in inflammation, and it also can result in degeneration. As we get older, many times due to posture, due to lack of certain minerals and enzymes and amino acids and cellular rebuilding, then we can get some degree of degeneration. But we can have an injury and it can end up in inflammation. So what's important to realize is that this has multi effect. Not only is it anti-inflammatory, which of course is one of the first things you do. Now, I don't know if CellAge Plus will help when you have spinal degeneration, if there's a lot of pain, how beneficial it would be specifically for the pain over a period of time is going to help. because it's going to lower the inflammation. It's going to start reversing the degeneration. Now, we've got to understand bone takes a long time to regenerate. You know, it's not just going to happen overnight. But what we're for sure doing is we're slowing down to stopping the degeneration. Now, you know, I was trained as an osteopath and a naturopath and an MD. So I always say one thing that's so important is getting the spine aligned. You know, if it's all crooked and bent and compacted, you're going to get degeneration. That's just what happens. You know, and even I'm a prime example of it. I was doing too much computer a week ago and sitting on my butt for too long, and I got some low back pain, and I had almost a slip disc because the compression was there, the exercise wasn't there, the extension. You really got to get the space in between those vertebrae so that they can get the circulation, so they're not impinging the nerves. You have to look at the spinal column. It's almost the outside of a tree, and the inside is, of course, the spinal cord. And then you have all the nerves and vessels going out to all parts of the body. It's like a tree is going out to feed the fruit. And if that's blocked, and it's, it's like this, we can't see, I guess you can. If it's constricted, or it's what they call subluxated, then you're not going to get the flow. So it's so important to get that flow going, to get, whether it's stretching, whether it's chiropractic, osteopathic, naturopathic, yoga, qigong, exercise of all sorts. I'm not much into running because I think that's creates too much inflammation in the joints. Moderation, fast walking is fantastic, swimming, whatever it may be, you just want to be sure that you get that circulation going so that the nutrients are feeding the spine. You can't be what we call in America a couch potato, where you sit around and expect to get well. I had this wonderful associate. He lived to be 107. And what he said was, if you rest, you rust. He says, that's what happens. If you sit around on your butt's going to get, it's just going to decompose. It's not going to have the energy. And that's what happens with the spine. It's just too much inactivity and not enough nutrients going in and out, in and out. And the great thing about our product, things like the triticum, the wheatgrass, has wonderful organic minerals and vitamins in it. All the different, the fucoidan is fantastic for spinal regeneration. And so and the correlate growth factor and the ASP. So all of those are what we call a synchronistic combination. And like I said, it took us 2 years to put this together to get the right balance of ingredients and the most effective. And that was what is really important. So I can't say 100% that, it'll totally regenerate. Depends on age, depends on activity, depends on diet, all those factors, But one thing I will say, if you have spinal degeneration, you need to eliminate the sugar. Sugar is an empty food. What it's going to do, because there's no minerals left in it, it's going to suck minerals out of your body. And so that's just one thing that happens with sugar. So, I'm pretty much anti-sugar. Honey, xylitol, FOS, things like that can be beneficial. Agave, I'm not so sure about. But pure sugar is just toxic to the system. It's deadly. It's a poison. So, wherever you can, just try to avoid that as much as possible. Look what it does to diabetes. I mean, my God. And particularly in Malaysia, and so much of, well, even America. Oh my gosh. I mean, America's like 65, 70% obesity now. Can you imagine that? 3 out of 4 people at minimum obese. And we know obesity leads to cancer, cardiovascular disease, Alzheimer's. It's all connected. So anyway, that's my spew on that.
Okay. All right. So I think the last question. Current question will be any possible interaction with relevant herbs. So for example, cohosh, etc. With supplement like isoflavone, with HRT stuff. HRT means just now we have Google search about it. Okay, HRT means hormone, replacement therapy. All right, and also with medicine for existing medical condition.
Yeah. That's a great question because that would be the first concern. And unfortunately, I think many doctors, many people I say, hey, if you've got a serious condition or you're pregnant, go ask your doctor if this is okay. And unfortunately, they don't see what this is. This is not a drug, so it's not going to have interactions. It's kind of like saying, okay, I'm eating this food. Is it going to have an interaction? Well, if it's a bad food, it might, but if it's a good source of food, then it's just, even if it were to have a side effect on that, the benefits would be so much better. But in all my years, with Kohash, with Damiana, I could go through 100 different herbs for female balance and how they can help create uh, balance the hormones in the body and what's needed with the lipids and the amino acids to create all the hormones in the body. But the important thing here, especially for women, is to look at your estrogen levels. I you have to realize that Premarin comes from horse urine, so that's what you're taking. How do you know you're getting the right balance of it, or the body's even utilizing it? Then one of the serious things on the planet today are microplastics, which are finding people are loaded with, and it creates what they call xenoestrogens. And even eating too much of the wrong kind of soy, eating too much of that can create too much estrogen in the body. The real key here is the progesterone. And I'm not saying, I would not just say, oh yeah, everybody needs progesterone or whatever. You got to test, you've got to test all your different hormones to find out what the levels of it are. Even the DHEA, cortisols, everything. And that's one of the keys is first testing to see where the imbalance may be. Now, unfortunately, with something like thyroid, they've already shown that and proven that the majority of thyroid blood tests are not accurate because they don't do comprehensive like intake and absorption and all the adjunctive elements that are necessary to utilize the thyroid hormone in your blood, that it may be high or low. The best way is to just do underarm temperature. It's called the Barnes thyroid test to see what levels you are. But, I always do a thyroid test because you can see TSH, T3, 4, 7, DIs, all of those, because you want to have the complete picture of what's going on with the thyroid to make sure that it's in balance. Now that is the key with HRTs. I am not much on estrogen at all. They've already shown it's carcinogenic. That's a proven, and it can lead to heart disease and things of that nature. And maybe that's one of the biggest reasons why women today are a higher level of cardiovascular disease than men, supposedly. I think it depends on the country and where you are, but it has been shown that that's a serious condition, and it's the number one killer supposedly in the world. Now, I've got a different idea of what truly is, but they call them iatrogenic illnesses, which are side effects from drugs and misdiagnosed. Well, I could go into all that. Now, I think vaccines and other things can be a cause, and mutations of the viruses. Oh my gosh, there's so many mutations happening. Just reading yesterday about multipox. I think it's what it's called in Africa now. They're more weapon. See, we have all these conditions. All we can do, and what's most important, we strengthen our immune system. Now, keep in mind, the immune system is made of cells, right? White blood cells, NK factors. I mean, we can go through all the different leukocytes and such, which control our microbiome, which is the key, which happens in our digestive tract from top to bottom. We've got to balance that. And our product does that. And that's one thing I wanted to get into today, but we won't have a chance, is the microbiome. And you can read more about that and learn how it's the key. It's the core of our immune system, of inflammation, of health, wellness. And the great thing about CellAge Plus is it balances. Not only can it reduce what's called leaky gut syndrome, which I'm sure many of you have heard of, but it can reduce inflammation, so it can improve all functions of the body. And we've got to realize our digestion creates our hormones, right? We don't have hormones if we don't have good digestion and good food and good elements to do so, to create those that are necessary. So it all comes back to here. That's a big, big part of it. So, but we got to be active. We got to have the right attitude in life, and try to be happy and have as much, reduce as much stress, negativity as we can. Eat good foods, healthy foods, and reduce toxic foods, and occasionally do a detox. And drink lots of good water. One thing I see over and over, two things. People don't breathe enough. They're not breathing into their bellies. They're breathing up here. They're breathing very shallow. You got to belly breathe. And then the other thing is you've got to reduce the toxins in your diet and the stress. So important, whether it's meditation, yoga, tai chi, qigong, doing many different processes. But so what's most important is health is wealth, and so this is something I always say, drink to your health. So do we have any more questions, or is that pretty much?
Yeah, I think no more questions. So if you guys have any question, okay, so you can type on the chat room. Okay, maybe Dr. Mark, maybe can you explain more about CellAge Bra phenomenal program?
CellAge plus what?
Yeah, phenomenal program. Can you see my slide? Phenomenal program. Can you
What's
see
the,
the slide? Yep.
uh, you know, I don't, I wouldn't be the one to discuss this. I think, uh, I don't get into the economics of this too much. I'm just a researcher and the yapper, but it's just, it's the only product on the market that has been proven to feed stem cells, regenerate every part of the body, and along with having the other benefits of, of anti-inflammation and immune modulation. As I said at the start of the program, many people may not have been on here. Inflammation is one of the keys and the core etiology of practically every condition known to human beings. So it's important to reduce that inflammation, to modulate the immune system, and feed the cells. They've got to have food. They've got to feed the mitochondria. That's our powerhouse for energy. And that's why so many people, as soon as they start taking it, they feel more energy. They feel more astute brain power. I travel all over the world, and I could be like Joe Biden and say, sorry, I'm so tired today from traveling around the world. But, I keep active. I keep alert, and I think sharp most of the time. And it's proven that this is good for the brain, good for the body, and for longevity and a healthy, happy life. It can only help. That's the great thing about it. We've proven there are no bad side effects. So it's just, we call it phenomenal because it's all phyto products. Phyto is plant products. There's, like I said before, there's no human, no animal products in this whatsoever. And so it's just pure food. And I always say too, pure food can't hurt you, no matter what. It has no side effects with anything else. So, and it's all balanced in a ratio where each one of the ingredients is only as much as the body should be able to utilize. I mean, you could probably eat 20 a day, 20 sachets a day, and feel great and have so much nutrition. Also, I'd like to say too, you still need to eat. It's not going to provide everything you need, and also it wouldn't provide the pleasure, that everybody wants from eating food. But it can enhance, and it can create the enzymes for what you do eat. In addition, you're going to utilize it better, because you have that spark of life inside you, and so that's what we want to share with everybody.
All right. So yeah, thank you, Dr. Mark. Okay, so do you have anything that you want to add on? Okay, all right. So yeah, so as a conclusion, so this product CellAge Plus, okay, able to grow our stem cell in four times within 5 hours. Okay, and it is also the world first stem cell food that contain with aseptic acid. Okay, and also it is all natural plant-based research ingredients and proven safe with close to 400 SGS tests and certified halal by Jaki Malaysia. All right, and also this phenomenal program, and it is more affordable compared to stem cell invasive. Right, so upcoming, okay, we have another session, and this is a Mandarin session. So you guys can invite all your clients or all your potential prospect to join this Zoom and also Facebook Live, and it is conducted by Dr. Amy Ko. Okay, is talking about what is mitochondria and NMN. Right, so because a lot of people they've been asked these questions, so what's the difference between CellAge Plus and SME? Okay, and also this is our current, okay, and also our latest value pack promotion. So if you want to know more, you can ask any question, or you want to know more about the pricing and also the latest promotion. Okay, you can ask anytime in our chat. Okay, and yeah, so here you go. Okay, so we hope to collect more feedback from you. Okay, and also your feedback is valuable to us, and thank you for thank you for help us to improve more. All right. Okay, so yeah, is there any question from the floor? And Mark, do you have anything you want to add on?
Oh, me or them?
Yeah, yeah. Do you have anything you want to add on?
No, I just want to
Mr.
thank
Francis?
you.
All right, thank you, Mr.
Such a
Francis, and
big
thank you
moderator.
everyone.
Thank everybody for their time today. And like I say, health is wealth. Drink to your
Okay, all right, sure, sure. Okay, all right, sure. Okay, so I think we are going to end our session today. Okay, so thank you so much, Dr. Mark. Okay, so for
my
taking your
pleasure.
time, to share to share the knowledge and also to answer all our Q&A. All right, we hope to have more session, with you. All right, to have more sharing and also the latest update about stem cell and also naturopathic. All right, and
And I hope
so
to meet
for
everybody
everyone,
someday in person.
and we hope to see you soon in Malaysia. All right. Okay,
Okay.
so for
Thank
everyone, okay, thank you for joining our session today. Okay, see you, thank you, and goodbye. Thank you, all right.